Our first guest today is like my twin. We both graduated from Notre Dame in the late 80s. We have both worked in broadcasting. And between the two of us, we have 9 NFL Pro Bowl selections. We've caught over 1,000 NFL passes and won a Heisman Trophy. The big difference is he has a book out entitled The Making of a Man. It's a pleasure to welcome Tim Brown to the set of Harvest.
Hey, good to be here.
Good to have you. And to think you didn't play football until your sophomore year of high school. You played in the band your freshman year.
Yeah, Mom wasn't going for it. Yeah, she wasn't going for it. So I had to move around her and get Dad to sign that paper. He finally let me do it.
And the rest is history. You come to Notre Dame, recruited by Jerry Faust, actually, and then came and played for Lou Holtz. And really, it was Lou Holtz who kind of inspired you to some greatness, didn't he?
Well, you know, he saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. You know, it was amazing because I came to Notre Dame for one reason. That was to get a degree, you know, and I had plans to get my degree, go back home, marry my high school sweetheart, be a deacon in the church, have 6 kids. I mean, I had it all laid out. And, you know, after 2 days of practice, spring ball, Lou pulled me over and said that he thought I could be the best player in the country. I didn't even think I was the best receiver on Notre Dame's team at that time. And he's telling me he thinks I could be the best player in the country. And it took about 2 weeks. Every day he was taking me in and showing me what I was doing on the field. And I finally got it, that I could do more in this sport if I thought I could do more. Now, Heisman Trophy, 9, you know, nobody thinks all that. But I just felt as if I could be at least a better leader on the team. And we just set out, man, just trying to be better and do better. And it just worked out great for us.
And when those words would come to you, I mean, how did you make that adjustment in your mind, in your mindset that, you know, I'm trying to be good, but this guy here is telling me I don't need to be good, I could be great?
Right. You know, at Woodrow Wilson in my high school, we were 425-1 my 3 years on varsity. Obviously, not a pretty good.
It's the wrong way around there.
So, you know, I was the best player on the team. But if you're on the best team, your best player on the team that's 1-8 every year or 1-9 every year, you know, you don't feel as if you're really doing anything. So when I got to Notre Dame, I was like, you know, wow, it's just great to be here. But you know, so I was happy. You know, I had a rough start to my freshman year. So for me, it was really about just trying to ingratiate myself into the sport. And all of a sudden, you know, when Lou started to say those things, I couldn't. You know, I've heard those things before, but now at this level, for you know, the coaches, you know, before weren't telling me that I was great, and they thought I could do all these great things. So I really thought that he was just trying to get me on his team and just trying to make sure that I was the one in the locker room saying good things about him since he was a new coach. But you know, but it took a while, man. But you know, finally, I saw in me what he saw in me,
and you believed in what he said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As that was happening, you go on to this NFL career, and things from the outside look great. On the inside, they weren't so great, and a lot of it had to deal with your relationships with women.
Yeah. I mean, it got tough, man. You know, you take a 21, 22-year-old kid, give him a pocket full of money. You know, it was amazing how better looking I got. You know, once I got my NFL contract. So it was tough, man. And hanging out with Eddie Murphy and Magic and, you know, being in events where Janet Jackson is sitting as close as you are to me, it was a very difficult situation for a young man to handle. And, you know, and I was just the right one or the wrong one to be in that situation because I didn't fight it too much. You know, I didn't fight the situation. I wasn't working hard to do what I was doing. Things was just happening pretty easy. And then, you know, the Raiderettes figure out who you are, and that became a whole nother situation. It was just tough. It was just really tough, man. But, you know, I had enough God in me at that point to understand that this was not the way I was supposed to be living. It was not the way I was born and raised. And it got to the point with me where literally I could not look at myself in the mirror. You know, I had to brush my teeth, wash my face. Good thing I didn't have a lot of hair, so I didn't have to worry about styling my hair. But, you know, but everything I had to do in the dark because I could not look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah, you were actually cutting yourself with the razor, not intentionally like some people do, but because you wouldn't look in the mirror to shave yourself.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I just got to that point where I couldn't stand looking at that guy, you know, and when you're born and raised, you know, good old Church of God in Christ, you know, you know, church in the way we church all those years growing up, makes it pretty difficult to understand and to realize how far away from that those teachings that I had gotten at that particular point. So it was tough, man. But at the same time, I was happy that God was still chasing me. I still felt that calling.
It seems like the Holy Spirit was doing a pretty deep work on the inside of you. Kind of tell us a little bit about your turnaround of how you kind of were able to flip those lights back on and get to the point of, kind of that redemption of making things right with yourself, making things right with the Lord. And
yeah, it was a process, man. I mean, that whole deal, I was, tore my knee up my second year in the league. That was obviously an eye-opener for me. It gave me an opportunity to step back and to realize, how I should be doing things. But even after that, it just took years for me to make the change. I can remember praying, well, God, what am I going to do about, my relationship with some of the guys in the locker room? And boom, guys will get cut, or guys will get released, or guys will get traded. It's like, wow, so every obstacle I was putting up, God was just knocking it down. And finally, it just, in the middle of the night one night, I can remember I was at my mom's house, and I rolled out the bed in the middle of the night and just said, I can't do it no more. I mean, I need you, to be with me, and I need to live this life the way I know it needs to be lived. But, the scary thing was that, being an NFL player and trying to live a saved life is they don't go hand in hand. Yeah. But it was amazing what God did for me in the first year or so, how he gave me favor with all the guys in the locker room, and people started to understand that I was really trying to do something different, and they weren't enticing me with certain things. And so it just made it, as easy as possible to be able to get through the situation.
And then you met this wonderful woman named Charisse in a polka-dotted dress, and
you read the book,
and it changed your life.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, June 26, 1996 is a day I rolled out of bed and said, I can't do it no more. 2 weeks later, I meet Charisse. And God knows, if I had met her 2-3 weeks prior, I had that same mindset of how am I going to get this done? How quickly can I make this happen? But and I tell her all the time, girl, you lucky I met you when I met you. But it was just amazing. And she was coming off a 6-month consecration where she was asked not to speak to men in a dating type way. So. And I actually got to go to her graduation from that class with her. So it was just perfect timing. She was ready for me, and I was ready for her. And God really blessed the union.
Tell us a little bit about Making of a Man. And obviously, it's a powerful message that not just in those pages, but it's your life message. And the importance of mentorship, of being that voice of belief in another, and you've actually, you've been putting it into practice with younger kids for years now.
Yeah. I've been running a mentor mini camp for the last 18 years out in California, and we do it up and down the coast in California. It's been great. It's been it's the time of year. That week I really enjoyed, man. It's the one time I get a chance to literally put my hands on the kids, and some of them you got to shake them a little bit, boy, wake up, boy, what's wrong with you? But you really get to impart in them what you know and what you feel and how you believe, if they would take the same road, then, they would see different things happen in their lives. So we tried to put everything in here we possibly could. We had to change a couple of names, to protect the innocent. But, from that standpoint, man, I think the stories that we tell are meant to connect with folks who are out there, because one of the things about me is people think, oh, you never went through anything, you never you're Tim Brown, life has been so perfect for you, and so we don't get into dirty details, but at the same time, from my relationship with my father to other things that happened in my life, to the birth of my son Taylor, who's 25 now. I tell people, a lot of folks don't know, I left Notre Dame with more than a Heisman Trophy and a degree. I left knowing that I had a young lady pregnant and was about to give birth to my son. So Those things, man, making the decision to really be in his life and not just be a financial donor.
Right.
You know, those are real life situations that people deal with today.
Step up and be a man, kind of.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, this mentorship, it carries on to the reason Tim Brown is back in South Bend. He was in a golf outing yesterday to help raise money for an organization called 5 Star Life. We've told you about it before, and Seth Most will rejoin us to talk more about 5 Star Life, and Tim Brown will stick around as well as we're back with more Harvest after this.